Hi everyone. Today we will be seeing a full stack application, complete backend and frontend. So whatever data you give that will be stored in the backend and you can access it whenever you want. Let us see step by step how you will be creating the backend, how you will be connecting that to the frontend. So before going to the code, I'll just show you how the application look like. Today we will be just looking into some to-do application, a basic one, and then we can move forward. So this is the basic to-do application where we have one input box and one add button. So the first thing I'll be just adding is learn HTML. Okay, so learn HTML, I'll just click on add. So if I click on add, I have learn HTML, I have edit button and also a delete button. So I'll just write as learn CSS. I'll click on add, CSS is added. I'll write learn React. It is added. Now, if suppose I want to change something, if suppose I want to edit something, if I click on edit, learn HTML is there, if I click on edit, so this I'm just changing the HTML file and I'm saving it. So it is changed to HTML file. So this is the way our to-do application will look like and it will function. So whatever data you are adding, that will directly go and it will be stored in the backend. So now let us see the code base, however, how this application is working, and let us learn it step by step. So to create a project, first and foremost thing what we'll be doing now is first we will create the Git repo. Let us see how that will work and how can we move forward. When we come to the homepage of our GitHub, there is this screen seen. So we will be clicking on new. So the screen will open. Here we need to create a repository first. So I'll just create the repository as to-do app. Okay, to-do app is available. I'm just creating it with this name. I'm making it public library and also I'm initiating the README file. Now I'll just create this repository. Done. My repository is created with the name to-do app. Now I need to clone this repository. Then I need to go for the coding purpose. So I'll just copy this link, whatever is there. Click on this code and just copy this link. Now just open the command prompt. So it is in the C drive. I don't want that in the C drive. I'll just move D drive. So in the D drive, I'll just create one folder called as to-do. I'll just click on enter. I'll enter that I'll enter 2. Fine. I'll just enter into that to-do folder. Now I'm inside my to-do folder. Here, I'll just clone the repo, whichever I have created now. I'll just write as git clone space and I'll just paste it. Okay, so I'll just press on enter. My to-do app is getting cloned. So it has like everything is done. It has got cloned. Now I just need to enter that to-do application. So I'll just write like code to-do app. Enter. See, my VS code is open with the name to-do app. Here, I can write whatever I need. I can just create the application from step by step. Now, we will see step by step how can we create this. So, before starting that, we have README file here. We have to-do app here. First and foremost thing we need to remember is we should be in the exact folder. We cannot just create wherever we want. We cannot just open the terminal also wherever we want. Now, looking into step by step, we will see like how it is possible, what and all is possible, what should we create first, and where should we create the backend, where should we create the front end, how should we take our URL to connect with. So everything we will be seeing now. So, yeah, yes. Yeah, I hope the screen is visible. Now, we will create it step by step. So the first thing what we need to do is we need to create a folder called as backend. we need to create the folder called as backend. Here in the backend, so whatever we need to do, that should be starting with the initialization of the processes. So to start with, inside this backend, I'll just open the terminal here. I'll just open the terminal. Here in the terminal, the first thing, it is within the to-do app. Okay, I just need to go within backend. I'm just going within the folder backend. So inside my folder backend, what I need to do as a first step is I need to write as npm init -y. So this will be installing all my dependencies whichever are needed. So let us wait until it is installed. Okay. Now, my first step is done. After this step, I need to go with installation of some other things. I just need to install npm install express mongoose. Then I need course. Then I need .env. Then I need body parcel. Okay, these are the things I need to install. So I need to install git ignore also. I need to install git ignore also. So all these dependencies I'm just installing at once. So express mongoose course.env body parcel and git ignore, everything at once. I'm just installing it. See, we need to wait until it get installed. Okay. See, now once it is installed, it will just show you, it will just give you the message like everything is installed. So the next thing I need to install is I need to install npm install nodeman -save -dev. This is the next dependencies you should install. So now after the installing of all these things, if we just open the folder backend, for us node modules is installed already, package.json is there, package.json is there. So all these are there already. Now we need to create the folder structure in the backend. Okay. So in the backend, the first thing we need to do is we need to create the folders. So the first folder I need is controllers. Okay, so then I need is, so not inside the controller, we need to click on backend. We need to click on, backend. We need to click on new folder, models. So after models, we need something called as routes. After routes, we need something called as config. Okay, so all these are done. After all these, we need certain files also inside this backend only. So those are files, not folders. Those files are .env. I'm creating .env and I'm also creating server.js here. So now check within your backend folder, the .env should be outside of all the folders and server.js should be outside of all the folders. Now within each of this folder, I need certain things to be done. So within the config, I need a file called as db.js. Okay, I need a file called db.js. Within the controller, as we are doing Todo application, within the controller, I'll be just adding something called as Todo controller.js. So inside the models, I'll be adding Todo model.js. Done. Only routes is left. So inside routes, I need to add Todo routes.js. So my complete backend folder structure is ready now. Config is ready, controllers is ready, models is ready, and also my routes is ready, and server.js is also ready. Now my duty is to write whatever I require in each of the folders. Now first what we will do, we will start with our models. So in the todo model.js, in the to-do model.js, I need to take something where my model will be there. I'm just adding the code here. See here, I'm just calling the mongoose here, and I'm just writing as schema. So in this schema, what is happening? I'm adding the title and I'm adding whether it is completed or not. That is the Boolean value. So this is how my schema looks like. So if suppose we want any extra thing, so title is there. If we want the description, we can add the description here and we can give type as string and required as true. So how many ever values we want, we can add here in the like model. So after this model, we require something called as controllers. What is controllers? In the controllers, we will be doing all the required actions. For example, creating the task is done, then deleting is done, then updating is also done. Everything is done in the controllers. So in the controllers, we will go to to-do controller. The first line is, I'm just telling to-do require models from to-do.model. So const to-do. See here, I'm just taking this to-do and I'm exporting this to-do. The same to-do, I'm just calling it here. Okay, so now first our task is to create a new task. Okay, so I'll be just adding the code to create the new task. So this will be my code to create the new task. I'm just exporting here itself, exports.create to do. So I'm using async await. So whatever the body of the to do is there, the model, whatever the model body, body is nothing but the things we define here. These are called as body items. So that body, whatever is there, that need to be added to the new to do and it should be saved. That is what is happening here in creating the to do. Okay, if the status is successful, it is giving us 201. If it is not successful, it is giving us 400. The next code we will add is to read all the to-dos, that is to get all the to-dos. So this is code to get all the to-dos. I'm just finding it. I'm just using the keyword find here. So after getting, we need to update the task. So updating will be done here. So to update it, we need to find the ID. So we need to find the ID, then we need to change the body. That is the reason I'm taking ID here. And the last operations in the CRUD is deleting it. So I'm just adding a delete functionality here. I'm just finding it by ID and I'm just deleting. So this is how my model and controller will look like. Now, what will config do actually? So we said there is something called as config file, right? So my config file, within this, there is something called as db.js. Here, this will connect my data, whatever is there. It will just connect my data to this application. So for this, I can just add the code here. See, it is just telling mongoose.connect. Okay, process.env.mongo URI. So I'll just tell you what is this Mongo URI. Look at the code. It will just connect to the Mongo URI. It is telling URL parser is true and topology is also true. If everything is connected properly, then it will give us this MongoDB is connected. So this is what will happen in DB. Now we will see something called as routes. In the routes, what my routes will do. Okay, I'll just add the routes now. So by the name itself, what does routes means? Routes means nothing but which will route us to particular direction. So I'm just going to the to-do routes and I'm just adding the routes here. See, this is importing the express. It is just checking router. Express.router is here and it is also taking the controller file. So to post something, it is using the route called /todos. Okay, to get it also, it is using /todos. But to update it, it is using a todos/id. And for deleting also, it is taking as todos/id. So my routes is done, my config is done, controllers is done, model is done. The main important file in any of the application is this server.js. So which is actually the main file which will run our application. Okay, in the server.js, I'll add the code. So what is happening here in the server.js? It is reading the .env. So what is .env? This is .env. I'll show you what to do in .env. So it is reading the express. It is reading the cors. It is just connecting the database. Then to do routes is right here. So this is the standard formats to write the server.js. So where your API will be read and your to-do routes will be taken here. So the port where you will be running is port number 5000. That is, you can just tell us server is running. So once our server starts, then this will show like this. Now, I said .env, right? What do we have here in the .env is the question for many people. So in the .env, we will have something called as Mongo URI. So that will be the database which will connect our like wherever we will store our data. This is the database. Now I'll show you how to generate the URI for the Mongo. See, this is the database part. You need to look carefully. Just go to your browser, click on MongoDB. Okay. If we click on MongoDB, this is the MongoDB Atlas. So if we click here, it will just show the front screen will be like this. You just need to sign in. If you have not used it anytime, you need to sign up first, then you can sign in. So I already have account here. So I'll be just signing in. Fine. If I click on sign in, it will take me to this page. This page will be there. So left side below this atlas, you can see something here. There is some drop down. See, click on this drop down. Click on new project. Okay, click on new project here. Here the screen will open. So I'll just give the project name as Todo application. To-do application is my project name. I'll click on next. See, project owner is obviously who will have logged in. They will be the project owner. I'll click on create project. So once creating the project is done, see here it will show you like create a cluster. You just need to click on create a cluster here. So you need to select the free option. You need to select. Then instead of cluster 0, you can just select like Todo application. Okay, Todo application you can just select and you can just click on create deployment. Okay. So now your cluster is getting deployed. Before that, remember this here password, whatever you will get, you need to copy this. You need to copy this because that will be very useful. You need to copy this and you just need to paste it somewhere. Okay, paste it here and just comment it out. Okay, as of now, there is no other use of that. Just comment it out. Okay, and like after this, you have copied this, then create database user. Okay, database user is created. Now click on choose connection method. Click on drivers. Okay, so now see, to-do application is provisioning. So here, this is the place where you will get your MongoDB URI. Okay, so let us wait. This will take time. This will take some time to generate the URI. So we will just click on that and we will just wait here. So before that, we will just have a glance here. See, we have created, I'll just close all these open folders. We have folder called as backend. We have config, we have controllers, models. Node modules is what we created before, right? By doing npm install y. We have routes, we have env, we have server.js. So all our files are ready. Now we just need to paste the MongoDB URI here. Okay, let us wait for this. Let us once refresh it. It's still getting created. See, your cluster is being created. We need to wait. There is no other option. It's getting created. Okay, we will wait for that. So this is called as MVC model. Okay, so models will be there, controllers will be there, and you will be using routes. So this is called as MVC model. We need to do it in this format only. To create any of the, if suppose we want the user's data, we need to create a model here called as user model. We need to create a controller called as user controller. And config need not to be changed, but routes, we need to create something called as user routes. Then we can connect it to the front end. So whatever extra data we need to create, that we need to first change in model, we need to change in controller, we need to add the routes. This is what the basic procedure it is followed. See, once it is loaded, it will just give you like this. It will give the screen like this. Now I'll just click on connect the same drivers. See, here my URI is created now. I'll just need to copy this. And here in the Mongo URI, I need to paste this. I need to paste this, but the thing is, we have copied our password, right? We have copied our password. I'll just need to copy this password. See here, Nethravathi-7 is there as username, and instead of this password, whatever is there, right? I'll delete this and I'll paste this. Okay. Now almost my all the files are ready. My all the files are ready. Now I need to run this backend. How can I run this backend? Go to the package.json. Just check here. Main is index.js, but we have written as servers.js. Just change it to server.js. And in the script, you need to add 2 lines. In the script, you need to add 2 lines. So I'll just show you what are those 2 lines. To start something, to start with, you need to add start as start node server.js is the first thing that you will be adding. Node server.js. To start the application, node server.js is used, and we have added nodeman also, right? So what will happen here? I'll just add server as nodeman server.js. These 2 lines you need to add. Whatever your file name will be there, that you need to change here. Okay. Now I need to run my backend. If suppose everything is working fine, it will give me the proper output now. So to run it, I'll just run as npm run server. So what is the server? Whatever name you will give here, right, as server, that is the same name you will be taking here, and I'll press enter. I'll press enter. If there are any errors, we will debug it. Okay. Okay. There are some errors. What is happening? Connection failed. Mongoose is not defined. Where it is not defined? Okay. And we will just terminate Control C. Yes, we will just write as npm install mongoose. Okay. Might be some spelling mistake have happened. I'll just enter it. I'll just enter it. See, now mongoose is getting installed. Let us check with the same command. Let us check with the same command, npm run server. npm run server is working. The same thing. So again, mongoose is not defined. Let us check where the error is. Okay. We are debugging the error. See, mongoose is not defined is the error we are getting. And where is it not defined? At connect db at config db.js. Okay, in our db.js, we have not defined our mongoose. That is what the error it is giving us. So what we will do, we will just define the mongoose here. Const mongoose is equal to require mongoose. Fine. So we have defined it. See, if everything is working fine, it will just give us as server running on port 5000 MongoDB connect. Okay, if this comes, so your backend is perfect. Everything is working fine. Now, so my backend file is completely ready. Now, what we will do, we will just add a new terminal here. We'll add a new terminal. In the Todo app, we have backend. We need frontend also. But my frontend should be a React application. That is the reason I'm just creating the React app here. So npx create React app space front end. Okay. So press enter. So let us wait till the React app get created. So React app is getting created as front end. Just wait until it get created. Then we can go with the front end part. Yeah. So, however, we have learned everything in backend, how to create the routes, how to create model, how to create controller, then comes the routes, and then comes the server.js. So if anyone asks you which is important file in server.js, so obviously it will be, sorry, important file in backend, it will be server.js, and many people will use it as index.js also. So there is no option. We need to wait until the React app is getting created. We need to wait. Fine. Almost it is done, I think. It's taking too long time. Okay. See, there are many packages, right? It need to get installed. So it will definitely take time. So normally before that, to-do application means what we have, as we saw in the beginning, we will add the to-do, we will have an edit option and also we will have a delete option, right? See, now my to-do application is ready. So now what I'll do, I'll go inside the front end. I'll just write as npm start. Okay, if I check here in the front end, my complete like git ignore is also there, and also my complete application is ready here. So to start with anything, as I said yesterday, in the source, we need to create something called as components. Whatever you want, you can write here inside the components, right? So React application is loading. Okay. So inside the components, what we will do, we will just create a file called as todo app.jsx. Okay, we have to do app.jsx. I'll quickly add the code here and will explain you people. So see, my app is running. So now I need to add to do. So see, my to do app.jsx, what it will do. So I'm just adding the code here. Will explain you right now. So what I will do to add the to-dos, I'm just taking the use state called as to-dos and set to-dos. So for each of the title, so we have title for to-dos, right? So that I'm taking as title and set title. So we have edit part. So we are taking as editing ID and setting editing ID. We have to edit the text. We are making it as edit text and set edit text. So then what will happen? We need to read the to-dos. We need to read the to-dos. See, for fetching the to-dos, what are we doing? We are using async await here and we are fetching it. Where is our like API? Where is our like server is running? See, check in the backend. You can just check in the backend. Server is running in 5000 port. Okay, it is using /API here, /API, and it is 5000. So that is the reason we are reading here as, that is the reason we are reading here as localhost 5000 /API. And obviously it is going and sitting in to-dos. That is the reason we are taking this API like this. Okay. So if response is not okay, then it will just throw me the error. And if everything is okay, it will just add the response, whatever is there, that JSON format, it will add to the data and we are setting our to-dos. Fine. If error is there, it will throw me an error. To add an to do, what is the thing that we are doing? We are using post method. So we can write this in different way also, but I'm using this method. If suppose if trim is there, if it is not trim, then I'll be returning, or else I'll be using this try catch method. Here what I'll do, I'll just fetch the APIs for this API address. Method is post and headers. This is the standard type. We'll be writing headers and body. Okay. And if the response is not okay, I'll be throwing the error. Then in the catch part, there will be error message. So to delete it, to do what is happening, here I'm just taking as const response is equal to await fetch to do. See, I said, right, in the routes we had ID as separate thing. Here also we are having /ID. So method is delete and we are using the same filter functionality to delete the to do here. Then if we want to edit the to do, what we are doing, so we are starting the we are just editing it by ID and text. That will come here in update. See, we are just taking the API /ID we are taking and method is put. So in the CRUD operation, to create post is the thing, to read the items, get is the method, to delete the things, like delete is the method, and to update the things, put is the method we will be using. So here we are just making it as edit text. That is what we are using there. So this is how, this is the logic to update the to do. So then what we are doing, so as I said, the use of it will be used to read the API or fetch the things. Here we are fetching the things. So in the written part, what we are doing, we are taking to do application H2 here as to do app. We are having one input where we are setting our title here. Then we have a button with type of submit, that is add button. So then here our list is getting displayed. So we are taking to do as the parameter. We have list. So key I'm taking as to do ID. So editing ID is also considered here. Then I'm just giving the value here. On change event, I'm just giving here. So everything I have just written here. I have a button to save. For each of the to do, we have the save button and as well as cancel button, right? So that is what given here. So just check if suppose if I click on editing ID is activated. If my editing ID is activated, then my buttons will come like save button and cancel button. If suppose editing ID is not activated, then what will happen? It will just give me edit button and delete. Okay. If I click on edit, then only save button and cancel button will come. If I did not click on edit, it will give me edit and delete. So this is the typical to-do application. And to make this work, I need to define that in app.jsx. I'll just remove the header part, whatever is there. I'll just rename this as app.jsx. Okay. So in the app.jsx, now what I'll do, I'll just remove these two lines also. I'll just call my to-do app here. Fine. So now my to-do app is there. Okay. We don't have to-do app.css, right? So as of now, I'll just remove that to-do app.css. This line, I'll just comment it out. Okay. Now we will see how our application is there. Okay. So we have our application like this. I'll add like learn HTML add. Okay. I'm getting edit delete. Okay. Again, I'm just adding learn CSS. Click on add, edit, delete. Learn, react, add, edit, delete. If I click on edit, it will give me save and cancel. React JS. Okay, save, cancel. If I click on save, it will be saved. Now, see, since it is not looking that good, I'll add a short CSS file for that. I'll quickly add a CSS file. In the components, I'll just add to do app.css. Fine, to do app.css is there. Now I'll just take the CSS file. Just add it here. Okay, I'll show you step by step. So for container, I'm just adding these many items, and header, I'm just adding this, and my to-do form is there that I'm just displaying it with flex, with gap, time pixel, margin bottom I'm giving. Then input field is there. These many things I'm adding here. Then if suppose on click of that is coming in blue color, that is the reason I'm adding input focus. And add button, I'm just taking blue color button and I'm adding all these items. So all these stylings, then on hover of it, it should change to this color. Then my to-do list comes here. I have added style, padding and all. My each to-do item, it has its styling. On hover, there is some other color which is displayed. Then if I click on edit, so edit input is working, that is coming in separate color. I have buttons. So edit button, delete button, save button and cancel button all are having same padding, same margins with borders and all, everything is same. But only for the colors, I'm just using it as separate classes. Okay, edit button, like on hover, what will happen? Delete button on hover, what will happen? Save button and also cancel. Okay, this is my typical CSS file. Let's see how it is looking. Okay. Before that, we will just uncomment this line. Okay, just uncomment. Fine. Let's see. Now my application is ready with CSS. Okay. So now also I'll just write as learn C hash. Okay. Add. Everything is here. So I'll just edit it. Instead of C hash, I'll write as C++. I'll save it. Okay. Now, here the curiosity part comes where your data is going and getting stored. See, inside MongoDB, if you go, so this is the URL you have copied, right? So here, if you just refresh it once, see, here there will be something called as browse collections. You click here, click here. See, you have created the list of to-dos, right? So the to-dos. See, in the model, whatever you will create, that will come and sit here in the database. So here to-dos is created. You have learned HTML, learned CSS, you have learned React.js, learned C. Okay, all the four data. Now check. So now instead of C, React.js, okay, instead of React.js, we will make it Ruby. Okay, learn Ruby. Okay, I'll just save it. Okay, now we will see in the data. We will see in the data what will happen. Okay, I'll just refresh here. So my data got refreshed. So instead of what we have changed it as Ruby, instead of React, we changed it to Ruby and Ruby is reflecting here. Now what we will do, we will delete this Ruby. We have only 3 data. We'll go to the database. We will click on refresh. And we'll check the data. We have HTML, we have CSS, we have C++. That's it. So whatever data will be here, everything will be reflected here in the database. So this is your backend, this is your front end. So now backend is done, front end is done. The only thing left out is we need to push everything to the GitHub, right? So I'll just add one more terminal here. Okay, it is to do app. What I'll do, I'll do git add front end. Okay, press enter. It will be added. Then git commit and front end. Enter. So all your files are added. Just click on git push. See, your all the files in the front end are successfully pushed to the git. Okay, now you need to push the backend also. Cd add backend. Okay, we will add backend. Sorry, it is git add backend. Git add backend. See, this adding backend is taking a lot of time. I'll explain you why. See why? Because in backend we have something called as node modules, right? So, and we don't have git ignore here in the backend file. So it is taking that much long time. We will just terminate here. And inside the backend, we will add a file called as dot git ignore. Okay. Inside this git ignore, what you need to ignore? This node modules. I'll just write that node modules slash. So while adding to the git, this file will be ignored. Okay. Now I'll add the same command. So immediately it just got entered now. So now I'll just write git commit backend. Right. See, all your backend files are added. Now git push. See, now all your backend files are pushed to your Git repository. So the Git repo was empty at the beginning. So we will just refresh it. My backend is there, my front end is there. So in the backend, whatever the files you have added, all the files are here. And also in the front end, whatever files you have added, those files are here. So this is how we will be creating a full stack application. So yeah, I hope you all will keep this project ready. You all will practice it once, then just make the backend folder, keep ready. So we can start with the new project. Thank you, everyone.